This is about our love affair with chili.
I have so many regrets.
Chili is an exciting kick to my food. Not hot, not worth eating.
Es un amor, como decimos, apache, porque lo amamos, pero no podemos vivir sin él, pero nos peleamos porque pica.
I'm Kevin, a self-taught private chef, photographer, creative director.
And everyone knows I love my chili.
Over the next few weeks, I'm on a journey of discovery.
Inside is hotter.
Let me try.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Where is the water?
As I find out more about my roots, I'm going to come up with a new chili recipe.
This is really nice.
And I will share what I've learned with the people I've met along the way.
Extra ikan, extra otak, and extra sambal.
So what I like about this nasi lemak, it all comes together. You know, from the fried stuff, the chicken, the ikan, the otak, to the nasi, and of course, importantly, the sambal. Our love affair with chili goes way back in time. And this is exactly what I want to explore. Our history and legacy with chili. For my next story, I'm going way out to look for special ingredients for a Malay chef I'm going to meet. I'm looking for something special, something beyond what I can find at the wet markets.
So we are going to our floating fish farm. In Singapore, there are 6 kelongs left.
Kai has been doing this for 8 years, supplying more than 2 tons of fresh seafood locally per month.
Typically in local waters, there are only so many types of fish you can farm due to water conditions and temperature and whatnot. So here we have sea bass, which we call barramundi. Then we have golden prophet. We have the giant groupers.
So I actually want to take one sort of fish that I won't find at the markets.
When you talk about uncommon fish, we do have a net where we usually hook up every day. A lot of weird things come out with them as well. We have anything from like, you know, beltfish, ikan bilis, barracuda, ikan bulan, that kind of stuff. So they're a bit fast.
Oh yeah, you're right, not that easy, huh?
I trapped one there for you already.
Okay. Okay, boy, come to Papa. Yes. There you go.
The ikan bulan, or ox-eye herring, is not usually eaten because of the fine bones it has.
Okay, pitch to me. Why should I buy local?
When I came on board 8 years ago, the idea here was to bridge the gap between locals and local produce. So we're a bit more unorthodox. People start with restaurants first and go to households. We did household first. The main point is that when you buy locally, it's like you want to support your local soccer team, right?
So I felt like a man on a mission carrying this ikan bulan from the kelong to Chef Belgian at his restaurant. Hello, Chef.
Hey, hi, Kevin.
Great to finally meet you.
Yes, finally.
I've got some present.
Wow.
So I went to the kelong just now and brought over some stuff,
Look at that.
fresh mussels. And then I have a special one. You know?
Oh, this one.
Yeah, apparently this is not that common.
Yeah.
They call it the ikan bulan.
The moonfish. Oh, beautiful. Oh, one thing about this fish, there's a lot of bones, fine bones. Yeah. So later we got to just score it, right?
Yeah.
And basically, normally, right, Kevin, ikan bulan, they deep fry.
Yeah.
But I think for today, why not we grill it?
Chef Meldin is what I expect a celebrity chef to be, full of personality, flamboyant, colorful. So I heard you're the master of sambals. That's the whole reason why I'm here.
And you know what? For this grilled ikan bulan, I have a perfect sambal that goes well with this dish?
Oh yes, I'm a chili aficionado. I love chili. I breathe chili. I live with chili. I cannot eat without chili. Sambal as an appetizer is to whet our appetite. In Malay, we call it pembuka selera. If the Italian, they have the cheese, and the Indian, they have the curries. When it comes to Malay cuisine, of course, we need the sambal. I'm very blessed because I grew up with Malay and Nusantara cuisine because my grandma, she's from Bintulu, Sarawak, and my dad is a mix of Javanese and Sundanese. And my mom, she is a Kelantanese. So can you imagine the flavor profile, right? And being the only child in my teenage year, the kitchen is like a science lab.
The main sambal that he wanted me to taste is a sambal that is particular to his culture, and it's actually called Sambal Sarawak. So for this one, you are using all green.
Yeah, green. Sambal Sarawak is mostly green color.
Okay.
You know, Kevin, there's a saying,
Yeah.
to win the heart of your mother-in-law, right?
Yeah.
You need to have a nice sambal belacan. Yeah, the skill is all shown in the sambal belacan.
Lucky my mother-in-law doesn't eat pedas.
Lucky you, lucky you.
In every Malay household, it's a must to have the mother of all sambal. It consists of dry chili, onion, garlic, and a bit of belacan or shrimp paste. And this has to cook for at least an hour or 2 hours. That's why Malay cuisine, especially sambal, is labor-intensive. There's no shortcut.
There are more than 300 different types of sambals or chili sauces in the Malay archipelago. No one knows when chili became common in Malay cuisine, but it may have been traced back to the 16th century during the time of the different Malay sultanates.
Like it? This is really nice.
Right?
Very nice. The sourness is not too overpowering.
Exactly.
It adds to the ikan bilis taste. So Chef Maldin is quite the progressive chef, and he likes to play and experiment with ingredients, technique, and even presentation. So he cooked this asam pedas with mussels that deceptively looks like an Italian dish. I guess the main takeaway I gather from my time with Chef Maldin is just because something is heritage, it doesn't have to dwell in the past. It can be playful and progressive because end of the day, everything has to be relevant and current to our times.
In my next story, I take a dip in the world of Peranakan sambals.
In the past, when they never had blenders, this was how they ground everything. And I always feel that the sambal tastes better.
In Singapore, all of our native cultures, they feature chili in their cooking.
So you have your Indians, you have your Chinese, you have your Malay.
Most Chinese use it as a condiment where they add it to their dishes, while the Malays and Indians use it very liberally in the cooking of their food. Chili is used to flavor the food we eat to complement the starch.
People assume that chilies were also antimicrobial. So when it's very hot, it helps to preserve or sterilize the meat. They are low cost, they're low maintenance, and adapted really well to the tropical conditions and thrived.
So the Peranakans have a rich history here in Singapore, and I'm pretty familiar with their cuisine. The term Peranakan refers to local-born people of mixed heritage. There are several groups of Peranakans in this region, from the mixed Chinese and Malay heritage to the Chitty Melaccans.
The Chitty Melaccans are a hybrid culture that was born in Malacca from Indian traders that settled in and intermarried with local families.
The word Chitty, C-H-I-T-T-Y, are traders. So there is a strong tradition of Peranakan-ness in our cuisine, in our food, in what we speak at home, in how we dress.
Tanya and Krishnan are cousins and 10th generation Chitty Melaccans. Their ancestors came from South India and settled in this region.
So we're giving you chilies in different ways, right?
Yeah.
So this is a very unusual sambal. You'll never get it often. It's usually cooked for special occasions, you know? So you're really fortunate to see this today.
This is called Sambal Tahi Minyak.
So what is tahi minyak?
Tahi literally means droppings.
Droppings.
And minyak is oil, the residue from coconut oil that's been used to cook this dish for a very long time. Yeah, it's a very painstaking process to cook this dish. So it's not often done. So when it's done, we savor it to the last.
Very interesting. The residue, the coconut residue, certainly does add a different taste flavor to the regular sambals that I've eaten. So I saw her slowly cook the coconut cream over low fire, cooked slowly, stirring for 2 hours.
So what happens is, after 2 hours, you'll see the oil come out, and what you're left with is this really crunchy coconut crisp.
It smells damn good. Tastes like coconut candy. Yeah. So Tanya led me to this door. It was closed, and lo and behold, there was this big slab of stone in front of us with a roller pin.
In Malay, it's called a batu giling. So in the past, when they never had blenders, this was how they ground everything. We grew up watching our mothers, aunties, all the matriarchs in the family using these, and I always feel that the sambal tastes better.
It's a laborious one, but I think the end result is a far superior sauce.
After witnessing how much time they spend preparing their food, I feel that the Chitty Melaccans are extremely proud of their culinary heritage.
I'm thinking now, what else can I do, or what's my extra effort or time spent to get that extra nuance that I can add to my cooking or my chili? For my next story, let's go back to the kampong, village style, from farm to table. So I know about One Kind House because Mama So is actually the mother of Calvin So, who's a prominent figure in the local creative and advertising scene.
And I also met Dylan, Mami So's grandson, and a strong advocate of sustainable food from their own edible garden.
There's one key ingredient that we'll be using today. That's this. So this is a tree. This is the Kedongdong tree, natively known as the Balongo.
It actually looks as tall and skinny as you are.
Yeah, but unlike me, it produces fruits that you can make into a pesto.
Good one. Sometimes known as the Great Hog or Yellow Plum, the Kedongdong is native to the Pacific regions of Melanesia and Polynesia.
In the 60s, the Kedongdong was quite common. We used to have it in our rojak, or we used to have it in preserved vinegar and sugar.
So the Kedongdong fruit is sort of like a citrusy kind of apple, a bit like guava. So we were thinking, what could we combine these with? Could we make a sambal? And we decided to make a pesto in the end. A bit of garlic, a bit of onion, a bit of chili padi, and the leaves and the fruit of the Kedongdong, and we just mash it together.
One Kind House made this pesto mix specially for visitors who come here for meals. Mummy So knows that I love chili, so she gave me extra chili padi to make a hotter version, yeah? I had a taste, and it's delicious. It's a bit more like a sambal, which I love. So Mummy So, best.
So great chili or sambal is almost like a great movie. I think the success of the movie or the performance of the main actor is also dependent on the supporting cast. And likewise in this case, you know, a great sambal really elevates itself when it has ingredients around it that pushes its flavor or texture or heatness, you know, to a new level. There's one more story to uncover, and it's about a culture that I thought I knew well. Okay, here we are. So shopping at Ticker Market for the ingredients was not a surprise, but there was one thing in particular that caught me a little off guard. I actually grew up with an Indian Muslim chef. My father taught him how to cook Chinese food, and I love Indian Muslim food. But I'm sure there's more to it than mutton and rice. Chili padi, mutton, fresh coconut, yep. All right, Ken, thanks. I'll see you soon. So just got off the phone with Tahira, and she's actually given me a shopping list, you know, of all things. Most of the ingredients I'm very familiar with and actually buy and use myself. But there was one thing in particular that caught me a little off guard, which was the vermicelli. Vermicelli is not on the top of my mind when it comes to Indian Muslim food. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, Tahira.
Hello. Hey, nice to see you in person.
Yeah. Nice. So Mama Z and Tahira run Spicy Kitchen, and they do Indian Muslim cooking classes. Okay, so this vermicelli thingy is got me very curious.
Right, it's called Palmisiam. Palmisiam is in reference to the word pal, which in Tamil means milk.
Oh, okay.
And the milk that we're using today comes from coconut.
We cook the noodles in coconut milk. The meat and all the condiments will be added in: egg, tofu, spinach, and bean sprouts.
My grandparents came from India to Singapore from the southern part of India. And when they came here, they borrowed ingredients, techniques, recipes that were used by other cultures. I think when people think of Indian Muslim food, you think of maybe some prata, thosai, and some kind of biryani, some kind of mutton chop, and things like that. These are like, for me, the fast food of Indian food, Indian Muslim food. If we were to open an Indian Muslim shop, we would sell like palmisiam, isiam biryani, patiri roti. These are basically dishes that have ingredients found in Southeast Asia and Singapore, but techniques or methods that are learned from India as well. So we're also going to be making something that gives the palmisiam a real kick. It's a sambal.
Kick and sambal. You said the two magic words that matters to me.
So this sambal is made very similarly to how the Malays make sambal, with blending or grinding dried chili.
So this is a dish that is not found nor known of where they came from in India. So it's a perfect food that was adapted when they first came here. So I took a generous amount, put it on my noodles, and for the first time mixed sambal with my hands. The heat of the sambal combined with the noodles really came together. After a glimpse into our history and legacy with chili, it's time to put my spin on things. So I'm cooking seafood, prawn, and fish, plus a sambal, because these are the things that united all the people that I met from the different cultures. Hello, guys.
Hi, Kevin.
So good to see you all.
You too. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming. So I've actually prepared something special for the two of you. The first one is inspired by the Palmisiam, but I've done it a bit differently. I've prepared a cold noodle dish.
Very refreshing.
Yeah.
Very different from what my mom made. I would say it's a very youthful take to it.
So what we have is a nice groper that I smoked over apple wood chips. For the sambal today, I'm going to use Chef Melvin's kapow sambal base. He had one version where he added soursop, but I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to add starfruit.
I love it the way you get from the basic, from where, the session that we had with me, right?
Yeah.
The flavor profile just hits the mark.
Yeah.
Good job.
I guess he's giving you 10 out of 10.
What I've learned from my experience in this episode is that chili and sambal really does go back a long way in Singapore. Each culture, each people have their own version, have their own recipe. And I feel all the great sambal recipes out there is all about authenticity, where the ingredients and the technique truly represent the people and where they're from.